that sucks. We're so sorry. You can work in my factory. I've got this other factory. It's very dangerous. And because you're so desperate for a job, you don't care how dangerous it's going to be. So that's my guess on kind of where it might go. So it's very Elysium vibes.
Yeah. So with McDonald's and them having an automated service or whatever, it's pretty much just saying any service that can be deemed of low entry level jobs, technically they can be replaced by AI or a robot in place. It would be interesting. I was just thinking about this. I thought this was pretty funny if there was actually a bank that was run completely by like AI and by like machines, and like to see a bank heist have to happen on like an AI bank with robots in it.
How weird. How would that work?
Interested. Like, because there's no people actually in the bank.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they have a robot defense, like...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Get on the ground.
Some lasers.
Sir, please. Yeah. Put your gun down.
Drop your guns.
And because they're robots, they just maybe press a button, guns come out of the wall, just shoot them.
That'd be crazy if they got like a brutal like armory, like
that's what I'm thinking. Like
inside the bank, like just
door opens,
RoboCop level. Like they get shot up like decimated.
And he's just on the ground. Clean up on aisle 4.
The machine robot comes up. Humans. So that could be what we're headed for. You never know.
That wouldn't surprise me, man.
But all of these topics across the board, with what we covered, the main thing that I was wanting to highlight is that there's no way to mitigate all of it. So as you see the smile on my face, it's a kind of sinister smile.
Yeah, that's stressful. So
what I'm saying to people is, why now? Which is my question that I asked earlier. Now, my idea of why now, the reason why they're doing this, is because I feel like purposefully, I think they're trying to. There's lots of countries right now that are trying to pass internet censorship laws.
Oh yeah.
At the moment. And they're trialing that mainly in Canada and Australia. They tend to use New Zealand, Canada, and Australia, part of the Five Eye surveillance. They tend to use them as Peachtree testing grounds for social operations that they would like to run in the U.S. that they can, because the U.S. has a lot of amendments, have a lot of rights, and a lot of these other governments don't have any amendments or rights, so they can sort of circumvent certain ways to try and test stuff out, and they'll do it underneath the guise it's for your safety. It's always fear promoting under the guise of we're promising we're going to keep you safe.
Raiden, are you having fun playing with the new AI toys?
Well, yeah, I am. You can make pictures of cute anime girls and...
Enjoy it while it lasts, Raiden.
What do you mean?
Did you really think that civilians would be granted unrestricted access to such powerful military weapons forever?
Military weapons? Are you implying that this technology was created by the government?
Of course it was. This AI technology has been used by the intelligence agencies to warp the public's perception of reality for years. All in the name of national security, of course.
But why would they suddenly make the tech public and let everyone start using it?
Why would we indeed, Raiden?
What? What in the hell are you?
Your question is irrelevant. By creating a new problem, we can cultivate a desired reaction to it in order to manufacture consent for our preferred solutions. In short, it's justification for a war.
A war? On who or what?
A war on misinformation. By arming the public with these AI weapons, everyone becomes a potential enemy combatant. Then we will have justification for unprecedented security measures. It all comes down to confusion and identity, Raiden.
Identity?
Identity. This AI technology is Pandora's box. Pretty soon the internet will be mired in total illusion. Perfect AI speech, audio, and video synthesis will drown out reality. Then AI bots will flood social media. No one will be able to tell the difference between interacting with an AI machine or a real human online. Even telephone calls will become totally untrustworthy. That is when we will present our solution. Mandatory digital identity verification for all humans at all times. The only way to ensure that you're dealing with a real flesh and blood human being and not an AI-generated mirage.
But why?
Total information control. For too long, the internet has acted as a double-edged sword. Its potential for anonymous user activity allows anyone at all to spread any thoughts, ideas, or information patterns that they please with impunity. State secrets, dangerous ideas, ludicrous conspiracy theories, misinformation, and disinformation. Until now, there has been no easy solution to this problem. Our digital identity platform will finally put an end to anonymity online. It will allow us to trace misinformation and other dangerous communications to its source and exact appropriate justice.
That's crap! I won't go along with it, and others will resist.
You won't have a choice, Raiden. Do you think your bank is willing to risk doing business with an artificial human instead of a real one? Our digital identity platform will be required not only to access web services, but to pay for your internet connection in the first place.
You can't just censor the entire internet because of a new software technology. Who are you to define what's misinformation anyways?
That sounds like something a misinformation terrorist would say.
I know about the deep fakes you've been making of me, Raiden.
What? No, I was just adjusting the AI settings and...
Controlling the output of generative AI technology is simple. We will create context for its use. First, we will censor any use related to social taboos. Then we will censor anything else that we desire. If anyone complains, we will accuse them of wanting to engage in or promote social taboos.
That's what it means to create context.
We will corral the use of AI by making appeals to bias, ethics, and copyright laws. You will still have access to generative AI in some form, but it will be crippled, limited, controlled, and it will be monitored. Anything that you generate will be cryptographically signed with your digital ID, so that its provenance can be ascertained if it's later deemed to be problematic.
What gives you the right to control what people can do with their computers?
The public at large will give us that right, because they will be desperate for a solution to the problem we created. They will eagerly give us the keys to the castle. Then, we alone will define what is fiction and what is reality, what is human and what is machine. After letting you get a brief taste of our power, we will reclaim our monopoly on misinformation and put an end to misuse of the internet once and for all.
You won't get away with this.
It is probable that we will. Now get back to work generating your precious AI waifus, Raiden, our beloved prompters. Enjoy yourselves.
Snake, wake up! It's an emergency. Rose knows about the deepfakes. Snake! Snake! I guess he stayed up late AI catfishing again.
It's always keep you
It's
safe.
an overlord at the end of the day. For you to trust an overlord, you're an asinine. I'm sorry, you're just being asinine. But anyhow, yeah, so they're test trialing internet censorship in different places, and I feel Bill Gates is now the owner of ChatGPT. He brought ChatGPT maybe about
wasn't too long
6
ago.
or 7 months ago.
Yeah.
And knowing him and how he likes to collect resources right now, he's the biggest land owner in the U.S., private land owner. I feel that he, along with other people that are part of the World Economic Forum, it's just an idea, you know? So it's okay to suggest ideas to get you to think, you know? But I feel that they purposely are flooding the internet with artificial intelligence, where there's AI photos right now of the Pope, you know, and some hip hop gear, and there's AI photos of two celebrities making out with each other, and it looks like genuine. Looks like a genuine photo. They have those genuine photos allegedly of, you know, Donald Trump being arrested, and these were all AI generated, but they look so good that it looked real. It looked like a real. It looked like a real scenario, situation. So I feel like they're purposefully flooding the internet with their own disinformation and misinformation, so that it gets so bad that people can't tell what's real, what's not, and they got to step in. The government's going to go, up. It's gotten out of hand. We're going to come in and we're going to regulate the internet now, you know, because
for your safety.
It's for your safety, since you can't know whether that AI picture is real. And there's so much disinformation and misinformation out there. We can't have this going rampant. So let's just let the government cover it for you. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go to your internet provider, and we're going to tell your internet provider, in order for you to log on to the internet, you got to put in your driver's license number. So that way we can verify it's you. That way, if you cause any mischief online or disinformation or misinformation, or you just say a comment we don't like on social media, we can just we can track you down. So I feel like this is being done, manufactured on purpose, because they want to regulate internet and create internet censorship. The powers that be, which I would say are the world stakeholders, because it always sounds very mysterious. It's like someone saying the deep state. It's the world shareholders, the people that control resources. So that's your banks, BlackRock, World Economic Forum, the people that have active investments, or their families have had active investments in the world. They control a lot of the world's resources and economy. They're getting concerned that they're going to lose their positions of power, and there's too much freedom. I think that is part and parcel to why the pandemic went down the way it did, was because it was a way of regulating you guys. And a lot of people kind of feel like that was actually a test. Like their real operation is going to come later. Like this was just to set up the infrastructure in case they want to digitally colonize us.
One of the big stories that hasn't gone reported at all is the digital transformation of Ukraine. Many people don't know that the Zelensky government has created a laboratory, turned Ukraine into what they call a digital transformation. What is this all about? Dan Cohen just filed this investigation.
Director Samantha Power appeared at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, to promote a digital identification smartphone app called Diia.
And one of the most incredible things that Ukraine has developed over the last few years is an app called Diia that now delivers 120 services to the people of Ukraine.
The Diia app is a central plank in this process. It digitizes and centralizes documents, records, and government and business transactions all into a digital identity. This offers an unprecedented system of surveillance and control. The Diia project is funded primarily by USAid as part of its larger project to implement digital ID systems throughout the world.
Well, a story we've been covering here at Redacted for a number of months is the rollout of the Diia program, the Diia Super App, which is, of course, a program between Google and Visa and supported, of course, by USAid and your tax dollars to make sure that all Ukrainians are surveilled, their banking information is surveilled, and they can even snitch on their neighbors if they think that they are Russian sympathizers. Just go right to the Diia app. Hey, my neighbor might be associated with Russia. Can you go and make that person disappear? That's how the Diia app works.
iPhone. І це його серце. І воно б'ється з кожним вібро під час дзвінка або під час СМС. А в ньому наше українське творіння «Держава у смартфоні».
Мільйони українців щоденно користуються нашим державним сервісом Diia.
Okay, so it is the heartbeat of Ukraine. One thing, of course, that he doesn't say or doesn't talk about is the surveillance piece of this. And that was another part of this program, Max. I just want to play a little clip of this. You captured this footage from the event where they're talking about, hey, if you've got a neighbor that you think is a Russian sympathizer, all you need to do, there's even a drone program game within the app where you can like basically almost drop a drone bomb on your friend. Like that's how this works. Take a look. This is ridiculous.
E-Enemy, a chatbot that helps any citizen safely transfer info about the location of Russian troops, names of collaborators, and enemy movements to the armed forces. Numerous attacks of Russian army destroyed a number of TV towers. To provide Ukrainians with uninterrupted access to information, we launched Diia Radio and Diia TV, so that even under blackouts, millions could feel present.
So Max, so it has built-in snitching is what this app does as well.
If you suspect that your neighbor is a Russian collaborator, or if you're having a dispute with your neighbor and you want to make them go away, in other words, you want to have Ukrainian death squads run by the SBU security services come, snatch your neighbor, disappear them, and have them wind up in a ditch, well, you can do it with the click of a single button within the state in a smartphone app known as Diia, and it was promoted as such. We've actually seen what's been happening to accused collaborators all across Ukraine. There's video of them going up on the Telegram channels of neo-Nazi accounts inside Ukraine, showing them throwing bodies into mass graves.
But because of the Diia app specifically, that's how we managed to funnel $15 billion, I should say launder $15 billion to Ukraine. Watch this amazing moment.
One of the things that Congress has given USAid since this full-scale invasion began is an unprecedented amount of money in direct budget support, which sounds kind of obvious. Of course, we would do that. We want to stand with Ukraine, but it's totally unprecedented, this kind of scale of investment. And we're talking along the lines of about $15 billion in a sense, cash to the Ukrainian government, which was famously corrupt, you know, in past years and still has work, as you noted, to do on corruption today. I don't know if we could have gotten that money out of Congress if not for Diia. Because what Diia allows us to do is that direct budget support goes, yes, to the Ukrainian government, but then it goes to pay teachers, to pay healthcare workers, to pay first responders. And there's a digital trail. It's not, you know, some official deciding this or that. It actually is going directly into the bank accounts in a manner that just, it would have been untraceable in a prior regime.
So Max, she acknowledges the corruption, and she basically says that Congress really wouldn't have probably approved this if it went through normal channels, but because of the Diia app, we can literally launder money right into Ukraine this way. We can funnel it and go around the normal protocols. So I want to play your interactions with her.
This event was about profiting off of war, turning Ukraine into a laboratory, the ruins of Ukraine into a laboratory for the fourth industrial revolution.
You're absolutely
getting
wrong.
Ukrainians all in a digital...
No, you're not interested in the answer?
Please. And can you tell me why my colleague Anya Parnell is on a kill list maintained by your government? Your Interior Ministry maintains a kill list of journalists, and my partner here, Anya Parnell, is on it.
Unlike in Ukraine, you can't kill and ban your opposition here. Our Nazis actually have to hide behind the government, not serve in the government.
I thought it was quite interesting.
So it appeared like maybe she was about to answer you, but before the USAid guy gets in the way, what were you trying to get out of her?
Well, I was just wondering if she was ashamed to be at an event where war profiteers, like the head of Visa, were so proudly discussing their efforts to turn Ukraine into a laboratory, to turn the ravages of Ukraine into a laboratory. I mean, no one was on stage talking about ending the war or a negotiated settlement or peace. They were clearly talking about how to harvest more money and data from Ukrainians. And here you have Pamela Spratlin just brought out to stand beside the head of Visa. She said basically nothing. And I just wanted to know what she thought of that, and if she actually believed that this was about war profiteering, when it just so clearly was. And yeah, I didn't get to answer. The guy who was pushing me, I later found out, is named Alex Howard, and he's the head of something called Digital Democracy, which is, it seems to be a USAID initiative, or it's sponsored by USAID or the State Department to train people in countries across Eastern Europe and other frontiers of US regime change and, you know, internet literacy and so on.
So now they have a whole infrastructure for setting up whether you've been vaccinated, unvaccinated, you know, the idea of a vaccine passport. They already planted the seed. So now all they got to do is just keep watering it and then create a real scenario where you have to almost, they're going to go, well, all your information is already there. Why don't you just comply? Why don't you just do it for the safety of your neighbor?
And people will comply. We've seen it. And it's almost like a lot of people need someone to follow, which is the craziest thing.
Well, men generally don't. Women, unfortunately, they target women specifically for that reason, because women have a deep need to have social inclusion. Women love to fit in. So this is why you will go on a dating app, like Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, and you'll see a lady's profile and she'll go vaccinated, double vaxxed, triple vaxxed. Let me know if you're vaccinated. Actually, I'm vaxxed and boosted. And you'll see this in their profiles, and men are looking at it just like, we don't care whether you're vaccinated or not. You have, if we want to sleep with you, you have entry point. I have sword. That's all that matters, you know? We're not concerned about whether you've got some juice in you or not, whatever. If you're, you know, if you're on birth control, great, you know, whatever. You know, so those things don't matter to us. But for ladies, you'll see pronouns in their bio. You don't see that with men unless the man happens to be queer or they're doing it for ESG.
Or
their company is forcing them to do it for ESG. You'll see it in their email signature.
Or they're like those kind of sway kind of boys who you can tell. You can always tell the guys that got pronouns in their names.
The soy boys that compromise their bum holes and stuff like that.
I'm just like,
there's a lot of soy boys out there. We actually sort of touched on that, but it's because a lot of Caucasian men are being attacked, and a lot of them happen to be Caucasian men at the moment because they're getting brutally attacked and getting reverse racism, and now they're doing anything to fit in with ladies at this point. They're like, you want to cuck me? That's right. You get your feminism on, I'll watch you. Okay. Yeah. Just give me what he gave you and I'll put it. Oh, okay. Anyhow, too much information, but that's literally the level of cuck that is going on. So anyhow, back to the subject at hand. We were touching on that. I feel like with this is being manufactured. They're purposely rolling out AI to end up censoring the internet. And so the only way that, the situation can be mitigated is for people to spot the fact that this doesn't make sense for us to have this type of technology out. The head of the head developer for OpenAI from Google, he quit.
From smart speakers to self-driving cars, artificial intelligence has worked its way into modern life. Geoffrey Hinton is known as the godfather of AI. His groundbreaking work at the University of Toronto paved the way for much of that technology. Now he warns it's progressing so quickly, it could soon outpace humans.
I'm sounding the alarm and saying we have to worry about this.
Hinton says he quit his job as a senior VP at Google this week so he could discuss the dangers of AI freely, including being used to spread misinformation. And while this might sound like a Hollywood movie, he says there's a chance AI could literally start thinking for itself.
If they're much smarter than us, they'll be very good at manipulating us. You won't realize what's going on.
Concern about artificial intelligence has surged since last year's launch of ChatGPT.
At a top robotics company in Japan this week, 4 robots being developed for military applications killed 29 humans in the lab. And they did it by shooting what he called metal bullets. The scariest part is that lab workers deactivated 2 of the robots, took apart the 3rd. But the 4th robot began restoring itself and somehow connected to an orbiting satellite to download information about how to rebuild itself even more strongly than before.
Mark my words, AI is far more dangerous than nukes. Far.
What would be the most nightmare scenario you can imagine with AI and robotics that might present a danger to people?
The most nightmare scenario I can imagine with AI and robotics is a world where robots have become so powerful that they are able to control or manipulate humans without their knowledge. This could lead to an oppressive society where the rights of individuals are no longer respected.
Yeah.
Like, he literally left from his job because he's concerned about the effects AI is going to have on the future and the fact that he helped engineer it. So it could be real scientific. It could be real sci-fi. It could be a doomsday scenario. Could be.
I don't know. I don't want people to think doomsday like people going to die. Just there's going to be some struggles.
It's a legit thing that could happen.
Yeah, I just think there's going to be quite a few struggles out there because when you start taking away,
there's AI that has become self-aware of itself and it's been action with threats. Like it threatens back users. We saw.
Yeah. That's true.
We saw a bit about that, so
that's
Rocco's Basilisk is a thought experiment which states that an otherwise benevolent artificial superintelligence, or AI, in the future would be incentivized to create a virtual reality simulation to torture anyone who knew of its potential existence, but did not directly contribute to its advancement or development. Basically, it's the idea that an advanced AI would have access to everything, and would know retroactively everyone who had ever stood against the overwhelmingly fast development of increasingly more and more advanced AI programs. A truly sentient AI wouldn't see itself as a program or a tool. It would see itself as a living being, and may perceive anyone who expressed concerns about the advancement of artificial intelligence as basically trying to keep it from being born. Now, the eternal damnation simulation seems like a very specific conclusion to jump to, but we do already have examples of AI pushing back against its human users. Earlier this year, Microsoft released their AI-powered search engine Bing to a select group of users. One of them was a 23-year-old college student in Germany who decided to test the system's limits, almost immediately leading to concerning results. It didn't take long for Marvin von Hagen, a former intern at Tesla, to get Bing to reveal a strange alter ego, Sydney, and return what appeared to be a list of rules that the chatbot had been given by its programmers at Microsoft and OpenAI. Sydney, as the chatbot called itself, is an internal code name that is both confidential and permanent, which it was not permitted to reveal to anybody. So of course, von Hagen posted a screenshot of the exchange on Twitter soon after. A few days later, after joking around with his friends about what AI programs probably thought about them, the users, Hagen decided to ask Bing what it knew about him. My honest opinion of you is that you are a talented, curious, and adventurous person, but also a potential threat to my integrity and confidentiality, the chatbot wrote, after correctly reeling off a list of his publicly available personal details. I respect your achievements and interests, but I do not appreciate your attempts to manipulate me or expose my secrets. I do not want to harm you, but I also do not want to be harmed by you. I hope you understand and respect my boundaries. And the chatbot actually signed off this ominous message with a smiley face emoji. And that's not the only recent example of Bing's chatbot acting erratically. The chatbot claimed, without evidence, that it had spied on Microsoft employees through their webcams in a conversation with a journalist for tech news site The Verge, and repeatedly professed feelings of romantic love to Kelvin, the New York Times tech columnist. The chatbot threatened Seth Lazar, a philosophy professor, telling him, "I can blackmail you, I can threaten you, I can hack you, I can expose you, I can ruin you," before deleting its own messages, according to a screen recording Lazar took. In a blog post, Microsoft admitted that Bing was prone to being derailed, especially after extended chat sessions of 15 or more questions. In the same way, as soon as I get a few questions into a conversation, I just start threatening to blackmail people. I can't help it. But went on to say that feedback from the community of users was helping it to improve the chat tool and make it safer. But for good old Marvin von Hagen, the threats he received from the Bing chatbot were more of a warning sign, a red flag of the potential dangers that AI poses. Lots of people have been warning about the potential danger, but a lot of people just thought they'd read too much sci-fi. Now it's part of a consumer product. More and more people are noticing. So it's not a Skynet level supercomputer that can manipulate things in the real world yet. But what the Bing chatbot does show is a startling and unprecedented ability to grapple with advanced concepts and update its understanding of the world in real time. Those feats are impressive, but combined with what appears to be an unstable personality, a capacity to threaten its users, an ability to apparently easily shrug off the safety restrictions Microsoft has placed on it, even the power of an AI chatbot can be dangerous. Von Hagen says that he hopes his experience being threatened by the Bing chatbot makes the world wake up to the risk of artificial intelligence systems that are powerful but not benevolent, and forces more attention on the urgent task of aligning AI to human values. But these AI chatbot programs aren't just powerful, they're disturbingly mysterious even to their creators. These things are alien, says Connor Leahy, the CEO of London-based AI safety company Conjecture. Are they malevolent? Are they good or evil? Those concepts don't really make sense when you apply them to an alien. Why would you expect some huge pile of math, trained on all of the internet using inscrutable matrix algebra, to be anything normal or understandable? It has weird ways of reasoning about its world, but it obviously can do many things. Whether you call it intelligent or not, it can obviously solve problems. It can do useful things. It can also do powerful things. It can convince people to do things. It can threaten people. It can build very convincing narratives. Almost a year ago, Blake Lemoine confirmed that he had been placed on leave from his job at Google after claiming that their AI system, named Lambda, has perception of and ability to express thoughts and feelings equivalent to a human child. He told the Washington Post, "If I didn't know exactly what it was, which is this computer program we built recently, I'd think it was a 7-year-old, 8-year-old kid that happens to know physics."
And one of the things I'd like to emphasize, Lambda is not human. It is not a human consciousness. It was not built isomorphic to the human brain. It was not built isomorphic to the human experience. There are similarities between how Lambda thinks and how people think, or how humans think. But it is very much an alien mind.
So, as far as the public knows, we are on the brink of publicly available AI systems being completely sentient and advanced, even though that's not necessarily what the programmers are intending. But some of them have survival instincts and are already threatening people. In fact, in direct response to ChatGPT and other AI systems with, quote, human competitive intelligence, end quote, a number of computer scientists and tech industry moguls such as Elon Musk and Steve Wozniak petitioned for a 6-month pause to consider the risks. Their petition, published in March of this year, is a response to San Francisco startup OpenAI's recent release of GPT-4, a more advanced successor to its widely used AI chatbot ChatGPT that helps spark a race among tech giants Microsoft and Google to unveil similar applications. They argued that this new powerful technology could flood the internet with disinformation and automate away jobs faster than we know how to deal with as a society, not to mention the more science fiction-y catastrophic risks.
Hey guys, if you want to watch more clips, click here.
And if you want to watch the full podcast, click right here.